I recently read the book, The Measure, by author Nikki Ehrlich. I brought the book here. If anyone is interested to see it after services, I'm happy to lend it to you. Without giving away the ending of the book, I won't spoil it. The book opens up with an odd circumstance that forever changes the world. You see, one day everyone wakes up, and outside their doors is a solitary box, and within the box is a string. And accompanying the string are the following words: "The measure of your life lies within." Meaning the string offers the answer to the question that has been asked for eternity: how long will you live? How many years, how many days, how many seconds? Now that morning, some people opened up boxes with strings that were fairly long and allowed them to really give a sigh of relief. But then others were painfully aware of how short their string was, knowing that their physical time in this world would soon come to an end. But the question most pondered throughout the story was the following: is it worth opening the box? Does knowing the timeline of one's life enrich one's stay, the ways we might treat ourselves or treat others? If we knew how many days left we had in this world, would we change professions? Would we travel the country? Would we explore the world? Or would it not matter if we knew? Would we not change a single thing? The scenario of discovering an accurate length of our lives, really, it's not too far off from our reality, because there's a researcher at Northeastern University who created what's called Life to Vec. It's a system that compiles all kinds of data: where you live, your profession, your health history, your income, your education. AI, artificial intelligence, that researched the population in Denmark to predict exactly how long a person might live. Professor Tina Eliasirod, professor of computer science at Northeastern, said, "But this tool shouldn't be used for prediction on real people." But let's be honest. Once you have that kind of tool in your hands, AI, even if we have hints at how long someone might live, how do you turn away from this kind of information? Now, this has been a long-standing question, an ongoing struggle for humanity, because even King David tries to wrestle an answer from God. Psalm reads, "Hodi'eni Adonai kitsi umidat yamai, mahi ed'ah mehadel ani." Tell me, O Lord, what my term is. What's the measure of my days? I would know then how fleeting my life is. The psalmist explains that there's some kind of comfort in knowing how much more of life we have to live. If only God would tell us, we might be able to live with a sense of ease. But of course, God responds, "It's decreed before me not to reveal the measure of a person's days." Now, knowing King David, maybe this isn't surprising, but somehow King David manages to negotiate an answer out of God. And he finds out that he'll die on Shabbat, and it happens to be that he dies on a Shabbat that coincides with Shavuot. But Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav translates King David's question differently, not as how long will the measures of my days be, not how many days will I live in this world, but he translates midah not as measure, but as attribute, as characteristic, as quality. So no longer how long will I live, but rather the question he is asking is, what will the character of my life be? If I truly gain the wisdom right now to see the quality of my days, then maybe then I might know, I might understand how fleeting life is. Because Emerson once said, it's not the length of your life, but the depth of your life. Not to mean that we don't want another day, that we shouldn't pray for more years, because that is natural and that is the essence of so many of our prayers. But instead of only beseeching God for the exact answer of how long our life will be, or looking to AI, or opening up a box that might contain a string that reveals precisely how many days we have in this world, Rabbi Nachman, I believe, asks us to research, I think, the harder question. Evaluate how we are living today. Yizkor gives us a gift because Yizkor offers to bring the souls of the departed closer to us this morning. A pause in our chaotic calendars to blend Olam Haba with Olam Hazeh, the world to come with the present day. Because what are our loved ones saying about the lives we choose to live? About the ways we embrace or reject each other? About our hearts we hope are willingly open, or perhaps hearts that stubbornly still remain closed? Rabbi Joseph Potasnik offers the following story. He says, recently I officiated at a memorial service. It was a memorial service for a young parent. And speaking to the man's son, a boy of about 11 years old, I asked him what he remembered most about his father. And the boy replied, "He bought me a lot of toys, and he spent a lot of time with me. But Rabbi, you can have the toys. I just want the time." After hearing that shattering plea from the little boy, Rabbi Potasnik couldn't help but remember a sermon given by the late Rabbi Baruch Silverstein, a sermon entitled Unclaimed and Uncollected. And the sermon described bank accounts that revert back to the state when no legal entity comes to collect or claim the assets. And the rabbi wondered, how many of us do the exact same thing, allowing time to be lost because we chose not to claim it? Poet James Philip Bailey once said, "We live in deeds, not years, in thoughts, not breaths, in feelings, not figures on a dial. We should count time by heart throbs, who thinks most, who feels most, who acts the best, and he whose heart beats the quickest lives the longest." He whose heart beats the quickest lives the longest. We know that that's not a scientific fact, but rather it's a piece of spiritual glossing for which we might consider our days, because it's Shavuot, Zman, Matan, Toratenu, the commemoration and reenactment of receiving Torah on Har Sinai. In a way, today is God's exact answer to this question that plagues humanity. God says, try to stop thinking about how long your life will be. Rather, God encourages today, here's my Torah. Find the measures, the characteristics, the values that will cause your heart to beat so that you know today you are alive. And today we let the memories and the whispers of the departed remind us that at this very moment, our hearts continue to beat. Loved ones that are asking us to claim time, this time, to not waste a single second, but to cherish and appreciate this beautiful life we are given. It may have been this popular book, The Measure, that coined the phrase, "The measure of life lies within." But it's Yizkor that perhaps teaches us the most important lesson of all, the measure of life, the impact of life. Well, that's determined by how we value the time we are given. May the memories of our loved ones teach us how to claim today, to live with beating hearts, and most of all, through it all, how to be a blessing. Amen. We begin our Yizkor service